Testing audio. Come on. Okay, testing audio. It is working. Testing audio. 1, 2. Testing audio. Excellent. Audio is functional. All right, 4 minutes till. Renee, you're the only one hanging out with us today. I'm thinking we go ahead and call the people. Start the session. Oh shoot, I need to add the YouTube link under the chat. There we go. Okay, let's see. Starting the stage. The stream is a little blurry today. I don't know why. Looks like the quality on not my screen, but the other screen that's currently being shared. Looks like it's a little blurry, but I don't know how to fix that. Excellent. Starting off with a resume. Cool.
Good morning, Nate.
Tim, how are you?
Good. Still catching my voice back a little bit.
Yeah. You feeling better?
Mostly. And then I talk for a while and then I realize I'm not that much better.
Cool.
So how's it going? What's up?
I'm well, man. I have been talking with Barry, trying to figure out how to do this streaming setup on one machine, and I think I've got a way. It involves some trickery. It's certainly
Some
not
trickery
today.
and black magic?
Yeah,
Okay.
It includes installing multiple versions of Discord so I can log in with 2 separate accounts.
On the same machine.
Correct.
So you're gonna stream. You're gonna use your fancy window camera stream. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe.
so one account streams the other account that's currently streaming the video feed. My main account feeds me. I could potentially do it using the browser. We're still playing with it. It's gonna be tricky, but we'll see.
Okay, yeah. I am under the weather today a little bit, Tanmay. Don't worry though, I'll still be here. My mind is still good, mostly, kind of.
I feel great, Tanmay. I am happy peppy. I don't know why. The child woke up really early this morning. I've been awake since about 5. Dang
Mm.
children. Are they even worth it, Tim?
Are you already streaming on YouTube right now?
Yeah, we should be live.
I mean, yeah, they're great. I love my kids. My kids are
Are
amazing.
you saying that because you're on the record now?
I am saying that so the record knows that I do love my children extremely dearly. There are absolutely, do not get me wrong at all. There are shortcomings and pitfalls to having kids, and it's not an endeavor to take lightly or casually, but it is very much worth it and incredible as an experience to do. But make sure you're prepared and that you're informed. I went into parenthood extremely informed, and not a lot of people do. And that ends up being a very hard challenge when you enter something like this that is so serious and permanent without understanding the ramifications of it.
Tim, did you do the thing that I did where the wife and I read a bunch of books about pregnancy during her pregnancy? And by the time the kid came, we were just burned out on reading father and mother literature. So like we kind of failed to read I think the more important stuff.
I did not. I haven't read any parenting literature. I've read HR literature, which is a type of parenting literature, maybe, but not really.
Okay. Sure. I see the metaphor.
Yeah. No, I actually have so this is a fun nugget about me. I have a lot of siblings. Do you want to guess how many?
Well, I know a little bit about you, so I'm going to go with 6.
No. I have 14 siblings.
Sorry?
Yeah, I've got 14 siblings, dude.
Good Lord. What's Thanksgiving like for you?
Well, we typically are the people who I'm the oldest of them, right? I'm the oldest of these, so there's 15 of us. And then my parents, of course. And so being the oldest person this year and stuff like that, we cooked for all of them. So it's a good time. That's what Thanksgiving was literally like this year. So we cooked.
Yeah, okay.
We did Thanksgiving. We forced my parents to host it, and we did all the food stuff for them.
Cool. All right, welcome everybody.
So anyways, that is my resume in terms of a little bit of parenting. Not to get into childhood history, Tim, a lot, but in the family economy of having that many people is that basically throughout my entire life, I've seen all the different phases of growing up as a kid,
yeah.
and it's kind of weird. It's like even getting married. I had a sibling who was not born. One of my siblings was born after I was married. So like literally every life stage at all times. Young. Yeah.
All right.
So I think we got to get into this though. It's
yeah, I'm looking at the chat.
We gotta start doing the thing.
It's popular today. Hello everyone. Welcome to Feedback Friday. This is where Tim and I talk about portfolios, resumes, any design asset you want to present with us with some constraints and limitations. We will invite you up on stage. We'll talk with you, learn more about your context, your goals, and then review your portfolio, resume, or whatever we're looking at with the objective of seeing how we can iterate and better meet those goals. We stream every Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Keep an eye out for potential time changes. This will be the second to last stream of this year. We'll stream next week on the 19th. Then no more streams after that until January 2nd, I think. And Tim and I are fiddling with the time slot. It might scoot up an hour earlier in the day. So be prepped for that. But if you're here for the first time, welcome. Glad to have you. Normally, the process is you submit your portfolio resume into the chat. You submit a link to the chat. Today, it looks like we are already booked up real quick. People hop in here very fast. If you want to be considered for next week, show up, drop your link in, probably show up 5 minutes early, 10 minutes early, just to guarantee you get on the slot today, on the slot that day. Tim? Oh,
I am loving what we're saying. We've got so much stuff in here. Let's do it though.
Well, real fast, I forgot one thing. I forgot to mention we are live streaming on YouTube. There's a link at the very top of the chat. Happy to provide a link again. But what that means for you is that everything we're looking at today is in fact streamed to the greater world and recorded for the greater world. The consequence there being if you want to share any sensitive data like your resume that potentially has your phone number on it, you can either cross that out, black it out before you take a look at it, or share something else. But let us know if there's something sensitive beforehand, or don't share that with us. Tim, those are all the logistics. Let's dive into some stuff.
Let's do it.
First on the list, we've got Renee, and we're starting with a resume today.
See if I can find this really quickly. Jumping over. And we better invite Renee onto the stream. So go ahead and jump on. When you get on here, if you would go ahead and answer a couple questions for us, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what your market is, and then what your goals are, such as, are you trying to get hired right now? Are you working freelance, corporate? Do you have a specific industry you're targeting? Tell us all the details so we can give you some good feedback.
Sure thing. Hi, Nate. Hi, Tim. Hi, everyone. This is my third time joining this channel, first time soliciting advice. This is really wonderful that you guys offer so much helpful, useful advice. Thank you, guys. But I am a brand designer. I've held senior brand designer roles, art director roles for the past 15 years. I've worked in advertising agencies and B2B software industry environments. I've been looking for work for the past 6 months, and with about 175 applications in, I haven't really landed any solicitations for interviews. So I'm just basically looking for kind of like a high level look at my resume. And if you guys are able to just click on my creative portfolio and just kind of see what you guys think about that experience, as if you guys were talent acquisition manager or hiring manager or creative director.
Okay, cool. I have a couple questions for you, which is one, when you're talking about your resume performance, do you know how people are getting to your resume? For example, do you think people are mostly looking at your resume when you apply to jobs, or are they coming to your website then looking at your resume? Do you know what your funnel looks like there?
It's mostly cold applications. I have received maybe about 5 referrals, and one of those has actually landed me an interview, but a majority has been cold referrals. Sorry, cold applications.
Okay, sounds good. And then this particular resume format, do you already know if this is a good performing resume for you, like such in the past that this worked very well, or is this kind of a new creation?
Yeah, it's a format that I've finessed for the past 6 months because I have been working with a career coach on it.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. Well, hopefully we can be additive to what your career coach has advised you, and not subtractive or combative with them. Nate, is there any part of this that you want to start with, or should we just give some high-level feedback about resumes in general?
Let's start with some high-level feedback. The stream crashed, if you don't mind taking over for a moment.
Okay. So when we generally review resumes, some of the standard feedback that we give, and you probably have heard our feedback before, is when we invite people to focus on outlining their role names, and then the length of that time, and then writing bullet points that support a kind of an outcome based strategy. So like you start with like your metric, you talk about what you did, and then who it was for. And generally that kind of general format with your bullets. And if you have that structure in general, it tends to be a good story. And we think that this performs better. So at a high level, I've got your name here. I do see some column layout stuff. Column layouts is something we also invite people to be really careful about, just because it can mess up with the ATS system. Things don't always read correctly. And then I also see you have a summary here at the top. Wow, that is super weird highlighting ability. Probably just drop off. I'm sure if this was just the downloaded PDF, it'd be fine. But summaries, as far as we have seen, have not always been a high yield item, because they often take up a lot of space on a resume without being able to clearly communicate some of the more specifics that people want to get into. And so they can be distracting and they can detract from people getting into the actual value that you have here, especially when you list all of your skills here at the top. We think most resumes are looked at actually by the ATS system rather than strictly a human person, especially at the getting interviews phase. If you were talking with someone just after like the first interview, or someone's already gotten you and you want to have a resume for that conversation where you're showing them your resume and going through it with them, maybe having a more human-centric resume makes sense. But for the ATS system, skills is typically something we reserve for the back end. And summaries also don't perform super well. That said, your mileage may vary. We do have professional experience here. We see the year. I do see the focus on the name of the company here is first. I would probably advise switching these just so you have the your role title as the main focus here. I want to get down here and you're not promoting Avena, you're promoting yourself. So go ahead and promote yourself first. And you can say this was for Avena. I do think it's okay to have these like little one sentence summary things that kind of outline some of your role. And as I'm scanning through these bullet points, I'm not seeing anything that's like majorly anything that's super wrong with this, right? Like I wouldn't say there's no low hanging fruit in any of these bullet points. You have a very clear story. You're talking about exactly what you did. You're outlining it to metrics, and you are being pretty precise on some of these. Like these are pretty good bullets all around. Of course, I'm not you, so maybe there's room for it. But I would suspect that these are not the thing that is going to get you. I have a question about you. So I'll offer this feedback as well. I know you gave me a number for the number of resumes that you've put out there, and in general, the numbers that I've seen, and I'm not necessarily the only authority on this matter, but we've generally seen that people who have good resumes and good portfolios are looking around 100 to 200 applications before they're getting interview requests. And so it sounds like you've gotten those referral routes. The referral routes, it's a lot higher yield, as you've found. But then when it comes to like actual cold applications, I think probably being in that that 175 range is probably right at the edge of what we'd probably consider concerning. You just need so many more applications to get really seen out because there's so many competitive people. It's not just about like having a good enough portfolio. It's also just being seen enough times and having a little bit of luck to get those roles in there. Nate, I've been talking for a while. I'm hoping that you're back online so you can save us a little bit.
I'm back. The stream is not coming back up, and that's okay. We're going to focus on in person today. Renee, you're doing a lot of things really well with your resume here. I feel like we're at a place where you have hit all the check boxes of all the red flags that we would typically look for. And now it's talking about low-hanging fruit, but even the low-hanging fruit, it seems like you are tackling. You clearly have a lot of experience here. The only thing that's jumping out to me that we could potentially talk about, Tim talked about the personal description at the top. Those are typically hit and miss. The rhetoric that we've heard from HR folk and recruiters is that they're typically subjective in nature, which is why they're lower value. Your first sentence talks about 15 years of combined experience in agency, blah, blah, shaping visual identity, brand systems, digital ecosystems. Like that's an objective statement. But then you follow it up with, translates business goals into unified design systems. That's still pretty objective. So I think in your case, you would probably be the few who are doing the personal description correctly. Now that I'm looking through it more in depth. Yeah, I don't have arguments against that. The section beneath that is a masked skills section, which is kind of interesting. It's typically we would argue skill sections to be toward the bottom, with experience being the most persuasive thing. So therefore, you put it at the top. But I don't like we're talking about nitpicks here. So it's not like there's no glaring flaw here that I'm looking at. Renee, let me ask you: so the only other thing that I would then look for is, are there unexplained things on the resume? Like, is there a couple of years of gap that would then have to be explained? Like, what kind of more intrinsic red flags could there be? I'm not seeing any of those either. Are you feeling anything in particular is potentially challenging on this resume?
Well, I I feel like having worked with a career coach and a resume coach for the last 6 months, and they're part of the same company. I feel like I'm getting some very rigid parameters. Like I also did question that summary at the top. Um, and that's kind of the area that I use to finesse my resume. I don't really mess with the experience bullets. Those are kind of locked in for me. But as far as hitting the ATS keywords, the that top part is where I really like try to front load so that I capture the employer's attention.
Yeah, totally get the desire there. Let me download this because the highlighting is funky and you mentioned ATS. And I do have some, like I just tried the notepad test, just copy and pasting it into a notepad just to see how it's parsed. Certainly flaws with that, right? The Dropbox version is not enabling me to get a good grab on it. So let me download this and then see if I can identify something there. But I totally understand your desire to front load this with skills. The argument is there.
Yeah, I think Nate, I want to ask you about and Katie too. It could just be me being a little bit burned out right now by AI stuff, but I read the word strategic and I read the word innovative, and these are just like super flat falling generic words now for me that get suggested by AI. Every time I hear someone's talk about like, yeah, strategic and innovative, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me anymore. That's just the first thing that like AI will tell you to include on stuff. And I did run this. You just saw me do it. I just put it on Scriber. It's not always accurate. Don't take this as like gospel, but it also thinks it might look like AI. And I'm wondering if that triggers for you at all, or either of you, and how you feel about these kind of words. Maybe this title up here is something you could improve and kind of changing some of the language in here. I know you're keyword hunting, but at the same time, it also does end up feeling kind of generic or kind of weirdly structured.
Got it. Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you guys. I mean, I know you guys have dedicated a good amount of time on this. I like if at all possible, if you guys could just click on the creative portfolio link and just any just high level red flags that you might see off the bat, I'm happy to sign back on next week as well to go deeper into my portfolio.
Really quick, I have a
go ahead.
question. Sorry to interrupt, and also hi guys. I know I came in late. Are you getting like auto rejected with this resume at all, or no?
No, I mean, some rejections came about a month later.
Sure.
Some have come within a day or so. I have been very selective about the companies that I've been applying to. I'm always researching
Sure.
them on Glassdoor, ensuring that they're 3.9 and above. But there hasn't been any real kind of consistency, which is like why I'm trying to get some additional feedback to see what might be a red flag.
Yeah, because just from like what I'm hearing, from what I came in, I know I came in a couple minutes late, but yeah, like I don't really see any issues with the resume overall, other than like I'm wondering if maybe the formatting is like holding you back, because I do see like the bullet points and things like that, and I know like those don't often translate very well to when you run it through AI. So I just was curious.
Mhm.
Or like the ATS, I mean, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the case study link, or sorry, the portfolio link. Really fast on the link itself. Tim and I were just talking about this yesterday, I think. One of the things that I am doing with my resume is attempting to measure the conversion rate of folk that view the resume and then go to the portfolio. The goal there to attempt to analyze if the resume is the bottleneck or the portfolio is the bottleneck. So I'm curious, you've got the case, what did you call the link?
Creative portfolio?
Yeah, that's the one, creative portfolio.
Mhm.
I'd be tempted to measure that link. Now, you don't have the entire .com written out, which is a sacrifice for printed users. Not that, I don't know that we care about them anymore. I'd be curious to put a tracking link on that creative portfolio to see if we could measure the conversion rate and then validate if your resume is not passing ATS or if it's the portfolio that's the bottleneck. Do you have the capability to do that? Maybe add like a bit.ly link in there, anything like that?
No, I'm not like very code web, programming savvy. And
Totally
even
get it.
and even this site that you're looking at, I mean, I used V0 by Vercel to create
Cool.
it and
Yeah.
have undergone several revisions. I know that Tim's probably looking at the back end and seeing all sorts of flags there, but yeah, that's what I got. Just primarily being a designer, strategic concepting type of person.
Tim, do you have a favorite link tracking app?
Link tracking, not really. It's something I just use whatever tools I'm using. Like Framer offers that a little bit. Google Analytics has some event tracking abilities. In general, though, just so you know what we're talking about, link tracking usually looks like this, where it'll be an equal sign and it'll say like, the name of an event, right?
Mhm.
And so often it'll be like equal sign referral, a referral question mark, someone, like a name or something like that, Discord. And this will tell your link that you were referred by Discord to get here or something like that. And so you could probably set this up here. I don't know if Dropbox probably doesn't have that ability, but if you were, for example, to track metrics for your Vercel app, which I think Vercel has some analytics, or what you can also do is you can go to googleanalytics.com. You're going to see our analytics really quickly. You can just add your website. So googleanalytics.google.com, go ahead and create an account, and then you're going to create a property under that account. And when you set it up, you're just going to put the name of your website in here, and it'll ask you to verify some data. And then once you've done that, you'll be able to go into your website and you'll see a report on where people show up on your website from. And this will help you. And then you can get into Google Analytics to see exactly how. But this will help you identify basically the chicken or the egg argument, right? Mm-hmm. Do people come to your website via your resume, or are they on your website regardless of your resume or not? And that might tell you a little bit of information about how people are feeling about your resume in general. We do not have time to review your portfolio today, unfortunately. We have a little, but I do want to review it in the future. So please come back. Please come back so we can look at it. I'll offer one last thing. Again, remember all AI detectors, your mileage may vary, but this detector is finding that a lot of your portfolio does have the appearance of AI writing in it.